Welcome back to Talking College Baseball. I am your host, Chris Barber. I'm joined by my co-host, Joe Sparber. And today, we're pumped to have him on today. We have the fourth overall pick of the 2023 MLB Draft, Wyatt Langford. Wyatt, thanks for coming on the podcast today.
You're welcome. What's up, Chris? What's up, Joe?
How you doing, man?
Good.
So Wyatt, like all of our podcasts, we bring it back to the beginning, right? So we like to ask our guests basically who introduced you to the game of baseball and what made you fall in love with it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of like most kids. You just pick it up when you're real young. Your parents kind of just tell you to start playing baseball. It's what happened with me. I started as young as you can, 3 or 4, whatever the t-ball age is. But so, I was playing it just like any other kid, and then I'd say I really fell in love with baseball probably around like the age 10 is when I kind of started to realize that I was standing out a little bit from all the other kids.
Yeah. But that's what most of our guests, their answers are. Started at a young age, and then around 10 to 12, that's when they started like really falling in love with it and separating. Yeah. So growing up, did you play any other sports or was it just baseball?
No, I played pretty much every sport I could. I played growing up when I was young. I played soccer, basketball, football. I did all that till I played soccer till I was about 13, and then I played football and basketball in high school, up till high school.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, like I said, most of our guys that come on, they say the same stuff. They play in different sports and they're trying to be as active as possible. And, a lot of these guys had different hobbies growing up as well. And I'm sure you do too. So what other hobbies did you have outside of sports?
Yeah, growing up, I loved video games growing up. I stopped playing video games about halfway through college, but I've always loved being in the outdoors. I'm a hunter, a fisher, all of the above, really. So that's kind of what I spend my time doing when I'm not playing baseball.
So what kind of video games did you like to play?
All the normal ones like Call of Duty, Fortnite, all that.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't know you were a gamer, to be honest. That was I thought you were just kind of outdoors and hunting and fishing and all that kind of stuff. That's
No, I was pretty big in high school, and then my freshman year of college, that COVID year, where everything was online. We would have practice canceled like every other day because of COVID, and then like me and my buddies would just play video games all day.
That's awesome. Joe was actually a big gamer back in the day. He used to love playing Call of Duty, MW2.
Call of Duty.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I
love sniping.
I don't think I was very good, but I like to do it.
Yeah, I was terrible too, but it was fun.
Yeah, but like I said, I really stopped playing pretty like sometime my sophomore year. I haven't really touched my console since.
I gotcha. I mean, you said you're a big hunter and fisher. Obviously, I know where you're from, but many people probably don't know where you're actually from. So to hunt and fish all the time, probably down south, right? Where exactly were you grew up?
Yeah, so I'm from Trenton, Florida. It's a real small town, about 45 minutes from Gainesville. So I was born in Gainesville and then lived about 45 minutes away from it my whole life. So going to the University of Florida was pretty much a no-brainer for me, and it was kind of what I was striving for throughout my younger years and then throughout high school as well.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, a lot of the guys we have on the podcast, though, who played multi-sports are not Florida guys. So it's pretty cool knowing you're a homegrown Florida kid playing multiple sports. Every Florida guy we've had on, they're like, oh, baseball, baseball, baseball their whole way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had kind of an not ordinary route to college. Like I wasn't the biggest recruit or anything like that. I mean, I just loved being outside playing sports and stuff like that, and then things started to kind of change once I got to college.
I mean, that's pretty interesting. Obviously, Florida is a pretty powerhouse program, obviously, and you said you weren't that as dominant as you are now. You weren't like that growing up, even in high school, right? Like in high school, what would you say the separator was like when you started like making those strides?
Yeah, so I would say the majority of it was just kind of just putting in more time, like than most other kids that were used to. And then I also think Florida kind of just took a chance on me, being a local kid. I went to every single camp that I could to try and get them to recruit me, so that definitely helped me as well. But yeah, like I said, I think they kind of took a chance on me. I mean, I really just I was a bigger kid. I had some power, so they kind of took a chance on me, I think.
What position did you play in high school? Was it always outfield?
No, so always growing up through high school and my freshman year of college, I was third base catcher, and then my freshman year of college, I was strictly just a catcher, and then I switched over to outfield my sophomore year.
That's
cool.
yeah.
It's like Chris, me, we're both catchers, and Chris is outfield now too, but he left the catching world pretty recently as well.
Yeah, I'm not upset about it, about leaving it.
Yeah, what if they asked you to go back there again? Would you do
Yeah,
it? Would you
it
like
would.
to?
No, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way now. I don't catch at all anymore. I'm just,
Okay,
I'm all outfield now.
cool.
Yeah, I think it's once you get the taste of a different position, it's
It's
like,
true,
you don't want to
especially
go back there.
it's such a drastic difference between outfield and catcher.
Yeah, your body feels so much better.
Yep,
You know, you're like, wow, well, how can you even go back?
I
Like,
know. And then especially now seeing the pro ball side of it, like those guys have to do it every single day, and they have to know so much about not only like our pitchers but the other team as well. They have to know every little thing about all of their hitters. I mean, as an outfielder, you kind of just have to worry about hitting.
yeah, basically. I mean, you got to just worry about, all right, let's catch the easy ones and
Yeah.
get the ball in, and then let's mash.
Yep.
Um, so wow, back in high school, you went to every Florida camp you could. Um, I mean, what were the conversations like with those coaches when when you were in high school, going to every camp? I mean, they must have been like, wow, this guy just is persistent, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they were pretty happy. I was just kind of giving them my money, going to all their camps. But no, I mean, really, it was just kind of like they would just tell me, "Hey, like you're getting better." Like every single time I went, and it just got to the point where like I just kept getting better, and then they eventually offered me after one of them.
Wow. So it wasn't like you went to one of the camps. It was like, I'm gonna hit 50 pumps when I come to Florida. It was just like, you know, take a chance on me. Give me a shot and see what I can do.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have anything to do with the conversations. It was more
Yeah.
so one sided. I was just, I mean, I've especially in high school, I was more of a like an introverted guy. So like, I would just show up. I mean, I'd go hit, and hopefully they would like see something in me, and then it eventually worked out.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember. Do you have any remembrance of like the type of numbers you used to have at those showcases? Was it like,
Um, no, I mean it. There for the most part, it wasn't really showcases. It would more so be like, like just BP on the field and then
oh,
hitting in the
okay.
cages, that kind of stuff. Not as much like game stuff.
Oh, I got you. I
It
got
was
you.
more of like workouts, kind of.
Oh, okay. So like 60 time
Yeah,
and all that kind
exactly.
of stuff. I
Yeah,
got you. So catcher, trying to go to Florida. I mean, Florida's got some real good catchers.
yeah.
I
I
tell
mean,
you.
that was pretty much the whole reason I got switched over to the outfield. I mean, I was hitting really good, and then I was still catching. It was like, man, I mean, we have we have two other catchers that are really fighting for a spot. So it's like, where can
Yeah.
we kind of put you?
So when you were in high school, obviously Florida's your number one and probably the only school you wanted to go to. Because Joe was the same way. He was even though we're from New Jersey, he only wanted to go to Miami. And it was
Rival.
literally like, yeah. It was literally, that was the only school he wanted to go to. And other schools would call him and he'd be like, no, I don't think so. I want to go to Miami. Was it kind of similar for you?
Yeah, I mean, I never even got the chance to talk to any other schools, really. So I committed my 10th grade year.
Okay.
I mean, my travel ball coach was kind of the one that was helping me out with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So he had told me, like, FSU, like UCF wanted to talk to me, but I was like, let's just wait. I'll just wait and see, kind of.
FSU, that's tough. That's tough to go against your team right there, right?
Yeah, no, there's no chance I was going there.
Who's your biggest rival, Miami?
No, not Miami. I would say probably Florida State.
Yeah.
Out of the SEC, and then in the SEC, I would probably say South Carolina or Tennessee, one of those two.
Both those programs have been really good.
Yeah,
really good. So like when you started working out in high school and stuff like that, and you said you put in more time, did you have like a specific routine that you used to do like in high school, or did you just
in high school I had no idea what I was doing. I would just me and my dad would just go and hit all the time. It would just be hitting off the tee a bunch, and then he would just throw me front toss. That was pretty much the whole thing. It's just kind of just doing it all the time consistently.
Yeah.
I didn't really get like a routine until probably in college, I would say, and then I kind of got a better idea of what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, did you used to like lift weights in high school, or did that come later into college too?
It came later in college. I mean, I did the workouts like every now and then, but I wasn't very serious about it. I mean, I've always been just kind of stronger than like other kids, just because I've always been a pretty big kid. Like, growing up, I was always one of like the bigger kids in my class and all that. So I didn't really realize how important it really was, like taking care of your body and getting in the weight room every day.
Yeah, it must be those watermelons you picking up. I mean,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
I was telling Joe that you brought a massive watermelon. Where I was like, that's got to be the biggest watermelon I've ever seen.
Yeah, forgot about that too.
Yeah, I mean,
usually introduce people like how we like relate to them and how we're friends with them. So,
Yeah.
Chris, like, tell us the story how you guys met. Like, how are you guys friends, and like, how did that go?
Man, all right, I'll tell you the story. It's actually funny. I don't think I've ever told Wyatt this, but I was so we're in Peninsula Pilots in the CPO, and I was playing center field at the time, and it's my first time playing center field, and I was fired up, and I was like,
It's a summer ball now.
Summer ball, yeah, summer ball, and coach called me, and he's just like, "You're gonna get a new roommate, and he's gonna play center," and I was like, what the heck? I just got out here in center. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's like, whatever. They're like, yeah, he's only going to be here for 10 days. I was like, why is he only going to be here for 10 days? He's like, I don't know. Just listen to what I have to say. He's coming in with you. I was like, okay. And then our host parents, they said the same thing. They're like, yeah, like, we're going to set up this living room, whatever. And I was like, okay, no problem. And then Y comes in with a massive watermelon. And I'm like, okay, sure. Like, I don't know what's going on here. And then I think we talked the first, I don't even know if I saw you at the house yet, because then you were driving. And then I think, didn't you get like T-boned or something?
I did. No, it wasn't the first day, but it was like the second or third day I got T-boned on the way to the field.
Yeah. So whatever. I was just like, all right, I got to look up this guy, Wyatt Langford. I was just like, Langford. That sounds familiar, like Clubber Lang, whatever. Clubber Lang, whatever. So I looked you up, and I just see your stat line from the year before, and I was just like, wait a minute. Why is he here? And then they told me you're playing Team USA and stuff like that. But when I saw your stat line, I was like, 26 pumps, huh? like 26 pumps. And I was like, okay, now I know why I'm not playing center field. I understand.
I remember that. Chris was calling me. He's like, yeah, they're taking me out of center field. I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. And he's like, wait, look up who's coming in. And I was like, all right, it makes sense.
I was like,
that's funny.
Yeah, I was like so confused on the whole situation. But obviously you let me know like what happened and stuff like that. But man, that was an experience.
That's fun.
For sure.
How was your host family? You guys like them?
Now we're on the podcast together.
Joe,
what'd you say? The host family?
The host family.
Yeah, you guys like them?
Yeah, they were good.
They were very, very good. Very nice.
Very different. But in a good way.
Wyatt, I gotta ask you, man. I mean, after you left there, how many text messages did you get from them?
Not too many because I never responded.
Oh, I mean,
you were there a lot longer though.
I was there a long time, and then I got another roommate who's also at Florida.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm not playing center field again for the Florida Gator, but okay. And yeah, no, I remember just talking to Wyatt, man. It would be like breakfast time or something. We'd have to like sneak upstairs.
Yeah, sneaking up.
We would like communicate. We're like, I think it's clear. Because, our host dad he would just kind of.
You would get stuck for an hour.
It would be an easy hour. Like, I think Wyatt was up there for a good hour and a half. We're about to go to the field early, take some swings. I'm like, what's going on up there? And I just hear him just nonstop talking about chocolate mousse and stuff and the cakes that he makes. I was like, oh, man, that was...
And Chris hated the cat, too.
Oh, man. I mean, Wyatt's like, you got to be friendly to the cat. He's a good guy. I'm like, yeah, he likes you. Thing's going to try to bite me. Yeah, I mean, every time I go near it, he's hissing at me. So, yeah, the cat was... Yeah, screw the cat, man. That's all I gotta say.
Chris is usually pretty easy going. He doesn't really things don't bother him, but he's like, this is creeping me out. I don't like this. So when we heard that, we're like, all right, something's wrong. My parents were like, something's wrong if Chris is complaining.
I was worried for a good minute. There was a good time.
I was sleeping on a flat air mattress too.
That's one thing I wouldn't give up. I gave up center field. I wasn't giving up the bed.
I would wake up in the middle of the night. My air mattress would be totally flat.
Oh man,
sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice.
Go choose off the radiator.
Yeah, it's whatever it takes.
Hey, it was good. It worked out.
Good. It was gritty. Joe, actually, last year, not this Christmas, last Christmas, bought me an Oculus.
Okay.
Because I was, you were the first person I knew that had one.
Yeah.
And I remember trying it on, and I was locked in. I was like,
you loved it.
I was like, where am I? I was like, where am I? But
yeah, I got it sitting right here beside me. Actually,
it's your favorite thing. It's your best friend right there.
Yeah.
So, on a serious note, how important do you think using that thing is? Like, I know you talked about how much you loved it. So how important was it for you to use it, and how did you use it?
I used it a ton my sophomore year, the year that I had my first year that I had like a real season and I had a really good year. I used it almost every day, like every game day I would use it in the morning or something like that. But then I haven't used it in 6 months probably. So I've gone a little bit widhout it.
Wow.
But I love it though. I mean, I feel like it helped me a lot whenever I didn't get very many at bats my freshman year, and then just building up to that sophomore year, using it all the time. I think definitely, at least partially, close that gap, kind of.
Yeah, I remember asking you. I was just like, so if I use this thing every day, I'm hitting 26, huh? Because man, I love it because I'm not gonna lie. When I started using it consistently, and right before I had an inter squad or a game, I would get up there and I would see the ball way better.
Yeah.
It was actually crazy. I was like, I didn't think this thing would actually work, but I see
Yeah.
the ball way better. I used it today at a
Yeah.
game today. I used it today.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it hurts to use it. So like,
No.
there's only benefit from using it, really. I think personally.
Did you have the did you have like the membership where you're able to get like any pitcher you wanted that was like you could get like actual guys that you were facing on there?
We did. We had it at Florida. They gave us
Mhm.
like they just wanted us to try it out, and they had like every college pitcher on there.
Yeah.
So we used that for like just a weekend. I think it was actually before we played Miami this past year. and so so no one else used it though. I used it, but no one else really used it.
You
But
know, I'm
it
surprised.
was very accurate. I mean, it had every pitcher that they had.
Yeah, that so I Tech gave us that. They gave us like the I didn't know that you're able to get real people on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I still use texting, so
Yeah.
but like it's so I think I used to like just pick up like my friends would want to face themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
what
they're like, "So what does my ball look like?" I'm like, "Well, like it doesn't it's just like a video of you. It's not like your movement. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to like really move like the way you throw it, but it's going to just be like your arm slide and stuff like that and um you know, I think it's very beneficial. I really do. And, I'm surprised, like, people weren't using it at Florida. If they saw you using it, I'm surprised they weren't like, man, like, maybe I should try something out here and, and throw this thing on,
That's why I
And
bought it. I remember Chris telling me, he's like, why use this thing? I'm trying it. I was like, I wasn't a good hitter in school. I was just a defensive catcher. I'm like, this has got to be it. This is a sportsmanship. This has got to be it.
That's cool.
I used to catch off it a little bit too.
I tried it too. I would do it just
It's
to
not,
see.
I would like bunt. I would like do bunts with
Yeah.
like, I'll tell you one person who hates it is Jack.
Oh,
Um,
really?
Jack, he doesn't like it one bit. He never threw that thing on at all.
That's all right.
He-
It
yeah,
seems like he does pretty good without
yeah. He's a different character. I mean,
Yeah.
he was actually our last guest that was on, and he was wow, yeah,
Yeah,
different guy.
he's a funny dude.
Yeah, yeah. He was actually. I told him that you were coming on. He was so pumped. He was so fired up. He's like, "Let's go."
Yeah, no, I like
So yeah, the beast. Dude, that's like his actual way. Joe's got a friend who literally he says beast all the time too. Slade
We
Saccone.
call him Slade. Slade
Yeah.
Saccone, yeah. We call him Beast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Jack.
he's
Jack
over
would do
there
the
with the
same thing.
Diamondbacks.
Okay.
Miami guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
The World Series.
All right, so let's bring it back to, you're a senior in high school. COVID season,
Yep.
right? Just washed, and then you go into Florida as a freshman. Did you guys go early? I don't know because of COVID, but did you guys
did
go
not.
early or?
So we came in just with everyone else. So that was definitely weird having to come in, and we came in with the whole team. So it was like everyone was like dapping each other up, like what's up, and we were all the freshmen were just kind of just hanging out.
I mean, you probably didn't even know the freshmen either, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. I mean, we were all rolled in a couple days before.
You don't want to be going up to a senior saying, "Hey, you new here? You're a freshman."
Yeah.
that wouldn't be good. But so walk us through like when you walk into the locker room the first time. Was it like overwhelming? Was it like wow, like oh my god, there's so many. These guys are massive, you know?
No, I mean, because I've like I said, I've always been a pretty big kid, so I came into Florida. I was like 230. I want to say, but like not in a great way. Like I was pretty.
Yeah.
I was a lot fatter than I am now. So I was pretty big kid because I didn't do much that whole COVID after COVID hit, I mean, I kind of threw baseball out the window. I would go hit every now and then work out every now and then. But me and my buddies would just go fish all the time over that whole COVID. And then, but yeah, it was definitely weird, especially like you said with all the COVID stuff. I mean, I think we were only allowed to have 15 guys in the locker room at a time.
Yeah.
So I was usually always like the last person in there. I'd just kind of sit and let everyone else go in. I didn't want to mess with anyone.
So going into your freshman year, did you have like any expectations for yourself, or was it just like, I'm just gonna see how it goes?
I mean, I thought I didn't have any expectations like going into like the fall. I was just excited to be there and to kind of really get to work. And then we did like all of our fall scrimmages and stuff, and I did pretty well. I mean, I was one of the top hitters, I think. So then going into the spring, I kind of had some expectations of like, hey, I got a chance to play and stuff like that, and then it just didn't really happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's tough as a freshman playing at a school like that. It's probably it might be one of the hardest things to do. I would say is if you're a freshman playing at a school like that, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, Joe, his roommate or his suite mate, Alex Terrell, he was one of it's kind of like, oh, he's a freshman. It's like he's playing. It's wild, you know. It doesn't really happen. And we asked this to all of our guests too about their first college experience, and it's Joe had his, I had mine. Going into Florida, who stood out to you as like your biggest kind of role model on the team? Like, who did you like really look at to follow, if anyone?
I mean, it really wasn't anyone, honestly. It was like just with the whole COVID thing, it was so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get to spend much time together, really. Like we would have our practice, and then that was it. Like you weren't allowed to hang around the field. You had to you had to go get there, practice, and then you had to leave. It's like
Yeah.
it's so strange. And then, I guess like I was talking about earlier, how I was pretty quiet like through high school and stuff like that. I mean, my freshman year I didn't talk at all. Like I just kind of sat in the corner, did my own thing, and then the jump from freshman year to sophomore year was huge.
Yeah, probably baseball wise and personality wise too. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, both.
So talking about after your freshman year, you didn't play much. I mean, how many at bats did you end up having?
I had 4 my freshman year.
Wow.
They were all in the
Oh,
ninth.
wow. Wow. 4 at bats. Did you travel?
I did, yeah. I traveled
Okay.
just because I was the bullpen catcher.
Sounds familiar.
No kidding.
Yep. Yep.
Joe, you should have started using the Oculus. You could have went from bullpen
Should have
catcher.
started using the Oculus.
It was the key.
Wow. So okay, you go now. They send you to summer ball, right? And it's going to be your first summer ball experience. And where did you end up going?
I went and played the Valley League. I played for the Charlottesville Tom Sox.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what I did.
That's when you played with Beast Mode.
It is. Yep.
Yeah.
That's when I met Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys played together?
We did. Yeah. Yeah. We played together that summer, and then again, for USA too. So it was cool.
That's right.
Going from both of us going from the Valley League to there.
Fun fact: I was also in the Valley League that year.
Yeah.
I was on the Woodstock River Bandits.
Yeah.
And my role was kind of like yours freshman year at Florida, bullpen catching, grinding it out there. And I think that's where the flip kind of switched for me, that I don't want to catch anymore. Because catching bullpens in summer ball it's different. It's certainly different, But yeah, no, that was a good league. I remember playing you guys, and you guys just were loaded. I mean, you guys might be one of the best Valley League teams of all time when it comes to like what you guys did after that year.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it was Jack Hurley. Did you have Rhett Lauder on that team?
No, he was on a different team.
He was on a different team.
Yeah, but he was there that same year though.
Yeah, I mean, you had another guy. I forget who's the other guy you
Yeah,
had.
we had a couple guys, but yeah, I don't remember.
So you ended up what, Ben? 350 in the Valley?
Yeah, like right around that. I made the all-star thing, so it was cool.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had a good summer. It was very productive and kind of reassuring, like after not playing for that long, just to know,
Yeah.
like, hey, you're still a good hitter.
You know, for people that don't understand the Valley League, it is a tough league, and the pitching is really good. The hitting is pretty good. It's tough to hit in that league because not only is the pitching good, but you could tell them too is the fields, man. Talk about no batter's eye. I mean, you got nothing. You're in
Yeah,
Virginia. It's hot and sticky. You got bugs flying into your eyes, basically. It's a tough league to hit in for sure. So yeah, I mean that's a really good year hitting in the Valley. But how many home runs did you have?
only two or three, I think. So nothing, not crazy at all.
Okay, so not crazy. 2 to 3 homers in the Valley. But now you're like, okay, I got consistent at bats. I feel pretty good. Batted 350. You go back to Florida your sophomore year. I'm sure you had some expectations then.
Yeah. So, I mean, my only goal was to be a starter. That was it. I mean, I didn't care where it was, what position, any of that. I just wanted to be a starter.
You said
So
something switched, so freshman to sophomore year, personality wise and baseball wise. What
Yeah,
like started that chain of events?
I just had to. I just real like. I mean, you guys know how it is when you're a freshman and then you're coming back after the summer for your second year. You feel like
Mm-hmm.
you're coming back home almost. Like you feel so much more comfortable. So just being
mhm,
comfortable in like kind of my surroundings and knowing what to expect and everything, that helped a lot. And then having just spent more time with the guys and being able to do that stuff.
No more COVID.
Yeah, no more COVID.
That's good.
yeah. So you go back your sophomore year. What was at this point now that you probably have a pretty good routine in. Like you probably built a pretty good routine from that summer and going into your sophomore year. What did that routine look like between like lifting and hitting and everything like that?
When it comes to like lifting, I love to work out now. I mean, that's kind of what I think has got me to where I'm at is changing my body the way I have, just becoming stronger, focusing like on my nutrition stuff like that. So like that whole summer, I lifted super heavy every day pretty much, and then going into the fall, we lifted super heavy. So it's really just continuing to get as strong as I could, and then just hitting and hitting and hitting as much as I could. Really, it's kind of the
Yeah,
key for me is just getting those reps in.
I got you. So I'm sure that you guys at Florida had some probably had some like max days and stuff like that. Like what type of numbers you throwing up? I gotta know.
For what?
All right. Probably the main three. We got squat, bench, deadlift, right? If you guys deadlifted.
We didn't. Well, we deadlifted. We didn't squat.
Okay, so squat,
Yeah.
so bench and deadlift. I gotta know. I gotta know.
The the most I ever deadlifted trap bar was 705, I think, and then bench. I think bench was like 335 maybe.
700 pounds.
So I mean, you say 705 like it's just okay. Yeah, I mean, I probably like 705. And then 335. The 335 bench, that's impressive. 335 is not easy to bench.
Yeah, that was
Um,
we did neutral grip when I was at Florida, so that was with the neutral grip bar.
oh, I got you. But 705. That's
I don't think there's guys on Miami football who pull that. I don't think anyone lifts that.
Yeah, I was
On the
proud.
football team.
I did that at home, actually at home during one of the off seasons. I sent a video to our strength coach.
was he like
There's nothing I could do to help you. That's it.
Like, what were you eating? Were you carrying bears from the woods? Like,
I don't
what
know.
were you doing?
He was probably not very happy.
It was probably like 705, huh? That's actually like mental. Like that's mental.
I can't believe the bar
705.
held the weight. Like, was there even room to like hold the weight on the bar?
I had to use bands. There's had multiple bands holding it on.
Were you by yourself, or were you in a gym? Like,
yeah, I was just in a gym back home.
That's awesome.
Me and one of my buddies.
he was probably like,
oh
man, 705. Okay, so strength is there. I could see why the ball comes off the bat like it does.
yeah. I can't do that now. I don't think. But that was
Yeah.
my peak strength. I think.
How much did you weigh at that point? I know you probably try to lose weight, right?
Probably like 215 around there.
Okay.
Yeah, I was pretty. I was pretty shredded then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. So when you get back as a sophomore, now that COVID's not a thing, what was the routine like at Florida? So now it's not really your routine. Now it's Florida's routine. Like, what was kind of like practice like in the fall and stuff like that? And, what'd you guys do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so we lifted pretty much every day, Monday through Friday at least, and then our Wednesdays would be like a sprint work day type thing, and then we had the individual stuff for the first month or so, and then we would start up scrimmages somewhere around October, I think.
I got you. So, I mean, did you guys have like the early morning lifts? I know Miami gets up at 5 a.m.
Not 5 a.m. We would do 7 a.m.
Yeah. Most VT was pretty similar. We had like a 6:30, 6 a.m.s. I mean, I don't know what it was. I think they just like the idea of having practice, being able to have practice in the afternoon. I think that's what it's more. What they want to do it more. Yeah, we could just maximize the practice in the afternoon and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that's a pretty good routine. So now that you're having your sophomore fall and stuff like that, did you perform? Did you continue to perform it like you were doing in the Valley, or how'd it go in the fall?
I did, yeah. I had a super good fall. I mean, I hit really good. I led the team in home runs, all that stuff. So going into my exit meeting, the coaches told me like they felt really good about me, like being somewhere in the middle of the lineup for them come springtime. So
that's great. So I mean, look, I gotta ask. I know the lifting and getting your body right, but like, was there any swing differences? Like, did you try to feel something different? Like, did you work on anything specific for you to start just mashing in every league?
Not really. It was more so like when I go back and look at videos of me in high school and stuff like that. You can see like the similarities. It's just I think facing like the higher velocity pitching and stuff like that kind of just forced me to clean up my mechanics and just become shorter and all of that, and that kind of just in turn helped me become the hitter that I am, really.
So just kind of shortening it up and kind of knowing that they're throwing hard, just basically be short to it and let the barrel do what it does.
Yeah, exactly. Just not nearly as much extra movement, just like unnecessary stuff.
Yeah.
Just kind of just get ready to, whenever they're ready, you get ready, and then you meet them there.
It's pretty simple.
It's working.
That's clearly. So now
I try and keep it as simple as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, the moment I start thinking too much is usually when things go bad.
It's a good take for all of our young listeners out there. Everyone has like different coaches who try to complicate things, like crazy different hitting styles, but simplicity seems to be a common theme amongst a lot of our guests.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things I've noticed since getting into pro ball is man, there's so much information, I guess, like about hitting and stuff like that. You have all the hitting coaches and everything, and there's a lot that's being said and that is there for your taking, and you have to be careful what you take in because you don't want to take in too much.
Yeah, I mean, even when I went to Tech, it was kind of the same thing. I came from JUCO where, I mean, we never really even talked about hitting. You know, it was kind of like it wasn't like any hitting coaches. I mean, we had a hitting coach, but it wasn't like too many things. So I get to Tech, you got TrackMan this, you got this spin, the ball's coming off this way. You got, you know, just all these different metrics that they start putting that put into my head, and I was kind of like, do I take this stuff in? Like where does it correlate kind of thing? And it kind
Yeah,
of, it could throw people off, I think, you know,
yeah,
just taking everything in.
yeah. So
Um,
Florida was kind of the opposite. I mean, it was like kind of like you were talking about when you were in JUCO. It was
yeah.
very hands off, which was nice. I mean, that's what I like. That's how I've always done things. Is kind of just on my own, really. And then they would help you if you ever had questions or anything like that.
Mhm.
They were always there to answer them. But we didn't have like a real like hitting coach that was telling
Yeah.
you what you should be doing with your swing and everything. It was more so up to you.
See, like that's a good, I like it better that way too. That like where I'm at right now at Rollins, it's basically the same. They're very hands off. They're not saying much. It's kind of like you work through what you need to work through, and
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
There's definitely like a happy medium. The
yeah,
kind of you need to know that someone's there to
hmm
give you information if you want it, but you don't want to be forced information.
yeah. No, I
Is it like that in
agree.
pro ball?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's a little, it's a little different for me just because the situation I'm in. So they've kind of tried to leave me alone for the most part. But like I know, like I've talked to like a bunch of my buddies, and like different organizations are different too. Like the Rangers do a super good job. But I mean, I've heard some of my buddies like as soon as they got there, it was just like bam, it's like in their face, kind of telling them what they needed to change and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is different. I've heard that a lot from different guys. Like every organization is different, like
Yeah,
completely different from like the
yeah,
way you live, the way you eat, the way you talk. Like I know the Mets, they didn't even take BP the whole year. It was just
yeah,
a machine the whole year. Like
yeah,
it's crazy. So I guess like if you're a pro player, you have to adapt to your organization. I mean,
yeah,
right? Like,
definitely. But, I mean, you also at the same time you have to make sure you're not giving in too much. I mean, you have to stay true to yourself as well.
mhm, gotcha. So now that let's bring it back to your sophomore year, you're about to start the season. Did you have any goals in mind that you like, or did you just want to get up there and do your thing?
Yeah, I mean, I did have goals. I it's funny because I always go back and look at it just because it's crazy how things change so fast. But like, I mean, my main goal is just to be a starter. I
Mhm.
think I wanted to hit above 300, and I wanted to have 12 home runs. Those were my goals.
See, those are
Think
good
you
goals.
busted through those?
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy.
when you hit 12, probably like what, a month and a half into the season, where you're like, well, maybe we should
Yeah,
adjust them a little bit.
I had to erase the number a couple times.
Yeah, that's. I mean, do you like write them down your goals, or I mean, do
I
you
did.
continue?
I had them on a whiteboard in my room.
Okay, so you'd wake up every day and be like, all right, I got to hit 12, got to do so 3, 2, 1. All right, so you break every goal that you set. Like, what 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 day was it that you knew you broke your goal? I mean, obviously 300, you don't know, but 12 homers. When did you reach that, and what point of the season was it?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember really, but the biggest thing was breaking the first one was to be a starter. I mean, I started
Yeah,
on the opening day, and I was more pumped than I could even imagine.
I bet. I mean, who'd you guys play?
We played Liberty.
Liberty opening day.
Yep.
Liberty's pretty good.
Yeah, they beat us. They beat us that series. They beat us opening weekend.
No way.
Yep.
And then Miami the following weekend. The usual second week of the season.
Yeah. At Miami, I think. Yeah. At Miami. I actually don't think it was the second week.
Interesting.
I don't remember.
When was it? I don't know if you remember, but when did you know that you're going to be like you were the starter consistently?
I didn't know until opening day. Really, that's kind of how they do things. You really have no idea. I mean, you have a pretty good idea, but I was just in that boat where like I wasn't 100% sure, but I was pretty sure. So just to see my name on the board whenever I came to the field that day was awesome.
Where'd you bat in the order?
I hit 8th opening day. Yep.
So you hit 8th. What part of the season did you know that you're going to be the starter every day?
I had a pretty good idea, like pretty much after that. I mean, pretty much once I cracked the lineup, I knew I was good. I'm pretty sure I moved up to 5th this second day.
Okay.
Like I hit 8th the first game, and then 5th, I think, the second game.
So during that year, where you're just having, obviously the best year like you've had in your career, what did you have any specific cage routine every day? Like that you knew that like these are your go-tos, or was it just tee flips and?
Not exactly. I'm super big on just mixing it up because I don't like to get set on any one thing. I feel like that kind of gets you to where you start grooving your swing kind of. So I love doing everything. I mean, if someone's got a machine set up, I'll just hop in and hit with them. Like I love to mix it up and kind of try and challenge myself. I feel like that's what puts you in the best position to have success.
That's interesting. That is very interesting because there's a lot of people that like to say do the same thing every single day.
Yeah.
Stick to your routine, stick to what works, write down your routine and follow it like it's like a Bible, like people like are really hardcore into following your routine, every day. So that's actually pretty unique that you like to change it up.
There's things I mean, I have routine amongst like my tee work if I ever do it, if I do a tee work, and then I have my certain drills that I like to do on front toss. But when it comes to like machine type stuff, I love to just do everything. Like mix up speeds, mix up shapes. Just I love to challenge myself, and I feel like that's what puts you in the best position to have success whenever you get in the box and you have confidence that you've seen whatever they're going to throw you.
Yeah. I mean, you can make those machines do some wicked things.
Yeah. Yes.
You
much better than any person can throw.
Yeah. I usually when I was at home and we didn't really have access to a machine, I would have Joe just try to throw some wicked things.
From like 45 feet out.
Yeah.
He would back in the day. He would just dice me up all the time and stuff like that. And but recent years, I think I've got him. I think I've got him.
It's gone downhill fast. It's gone really far downhill. This winter, I was like, all right. We usually play this game. It's like 3 outs. So if I'm the pitcher, I have to get 3 outs, and I'll get a point if he doesn't score a run. And whatever runs he scores, he gets a run, and we'd play like 7 innings. This year, I couldn't get out of an inning.
Cool.
So we called it quick. We called it quick. I was like, I'm done.
I mean, as a younger brother, growing up, losing all the time, I definitely get my licks in now. And I definitely let him know about it too. So, but yeah, that's what we usually do. But yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I like to hit, the machine. I hit the machine every day, but I like to change it up from mini hack to angled mini hack to big hack, curveball, slider. Like I just try to basically face things that I know I won't see.
Yeah.
Like I know I won't see. So when I step into the box, everything looks flat.
You know? Exactly. Just exaggerated.
Just exaggerate everything and I'll actually, I don't know about you, but I'll go into the cage and there will be times where I don't get a barrel for the first like 25, 30 swings off a machine. I'm getting my doors blown off. And it's good. I know that I'm getting better then.
Yeah, that's another thing, is just you being able to do that and know that in your failures, kind of, that's what you're looking for, is that failure to kind of propel you to succeed.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is a weird, obviously baseball is a game of failure. So I guess I don't know, if you practice failing more, you get good at it and then you stop wanting to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking about like the machine and stuff and hitting, like if it was ever like beating you up and challenging you, like how would you like handle your emotions with that? Like Chris used to really, really want to beat the shit out of the machine if he was doing bad, like break it. Like he got a lot better, but I don't know how you feel about the machine.
No, I mean, there's definitely times where you gotta ease it back and take some feel good swings.
Yeah, I said some crazy things to the hack attack.
Yeah, it's like it's a person.
I like it now because like I kind of have an idea, but when I first used to hit off of it, I'd get jammed up and I would tomahawk the bat down the cage tube or something. But
and like dodging out of the way after feeding it like a bat's coming back in it.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with it, but so okay, so you end up hitting 26 home runs. After the season, did you like sit down and was like, what did I just do? like what was that?
No, not exactly. I kind of just, I mean, everything just happened so fast. I mean, our season ended, and then just a couple days later, I was up there playing again in Virginia with you. So it's just I mean, you know how it goes. You guys know how it goes. Just once that season starts, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I mean, it's probably been like a blur to you, probably since the start of that sophomore season to where you are now. You're probably like, where did it go? Like, where'd the time go?
Yeah, it's definitely tough to kind of step back and look back at what you've done.
So after that year, obviously now you had some. Now it's like everyone knows who you are, right? There's no hiding it anymore. Yep. Everyone knows who you are. At this point now, it's like, okay, you're invited to Team USA. Now it's some serious considerations to be a high draft pick. How'd you handle that? Was it kind of just like, okay, like this is fine, or were you like, wow, like this is actually like pretty serious?
Yeah, so the USA stuff was super fun doing that, and then it was more like that didn't really have any effect on it. The USA stuff, that was more so just go out there and play and have fun and enjoy, just like being with all those players like of that high caliber, and then just go. The biggest difference was going into my junior year, so going into that season versus the feelings and emotions going into my sophomore season were complete opposite, like as opposite as it gets. Like going in my sophomore year, I was fighting to have a spot, and then going into my junior year, I was fighting to I don't even know, just fighting to. I mean, everyone was looking at me to be the best, like be the best player in the country and stuff like that. So it was literally polar opposite.
I know you're a humble guy. I know I'm gonna tell everyone what you were fighting for, to be 1-1. That was the conversation. It was like you go in from sophomore year, it's like, all right, I'm gonna fight to be a starter, and then your junior year, it's like I'm gonna fight to be the first pick in the draft here. Like those are way different.
That's as different as it gets.
First round draft pick, insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember after the summer with you, it was like I was like, all right, this guy's legit. I'm like, this guy's legit. I had to see it for my own eyes, but this guy's legit. And then after that, dude, I was like looking at mock drafts. I was just like, where is he? I'm like, where's he at? And then it would be like, it was weird because there was a point where you were up there, like low in the first round, and then you just started, like, just before the season even started, it just started climbing up. And I was like, he might be 1-1. He might be 1-1 right here. And, that's, I thought it was like the coolest thing to see, see that, like being able to hear from you, and then like just like you going back there being, the guy, like you got back in there your junior year. You're like, okay, well, I'm the guy. I'm sure because I know Jack had it too. That like all the media stuff was like the Gators media stuff. You were probably involved in like every single one of them.
Yeah.
That must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. It was, like I said, it was completely different. Everyone, my sophomore year, no one wanted or needed to talk to me, and then junior year, it was everyone wanted to talk to me. So
Yeah,
having to deal with that and kind of having to learn how to deal with it was definitely a big change.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that because that was the year of the NIL as well. I'm sure you started getting. I remember you telling me you got an NIL deal. You got Bird, the scooters.
Oh yeah,
and I was
That's
like,
cool.
Yeah,
I
it was
like,
cool.
I was like, Bird, the scooters. Okay. You just hit 26,
I forgot about that,
all
Brian.
right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we just me and one of my buddies, we got free bird rides.
Yeah, it fits you well. You love hunting and stuff. That's perfect.
Yeah.
They're underrated, those bird rides.
Oh yeah. Yeah, especially on football game days.
Oh yeah. Get a free ride up there? Come on.
Yeah. Well, they lock them. They lock them on game days.
Really?
No way.
But like the thing that we had a special account, so we were the only people riding them.
That's sick.
Yeah.
One of my good friends went to UF, and I remember I went to one football game, and it was crazy.
It's insane.
It was
it's
insane.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
So you were the only one, just private, taking the scooter. Everyone's like,
yeah, everyone's walking and shooting by them.
So I'm guessing, your junior year, you probably got hit up with a lot of people. Well, a lot of people probably hit you up for NILs, huh?
Not really. I mean, it wasn't.
Really?
No, I mean, not at all. Honestly, really, it was more so. It was more so having reaching out to people myself if I wanted anything.
You ever get denied by anybody?
Got that bird scooter.
I don't think I got denied exactly, but I didn't ask for much.
Yeah.
It was more so asking people or asking if you have a discount or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we got here. I mean, that Lulu discount is different. I know. I forgot who. Jack's girlfriend, I think, has got the Lulu discount, and everyone on the team was just using it. We were just using that discount code.
That's funny.
But anyway, so you got the media, you got the, all the outside stuff now. Were you like, okay, well, this is cool. I know I'm getting I'm probably got to talk to 30 scouts this fall. But how am I going to just lock it in just playing baseball? Like, what was that for you? Like, what made you lock it in for that?
Yeah, the big thing for me was just trying my best to feel the same way I did going into my sophomore year. Just having that edge, that edge on that chip on my shoulder to work as hard as I possibly could, just to be the best for myself, really.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a lot of guys? I'm sure now at this point, there was a lot of freshmen and a lot of probably sophomores that looked up to you big time, and they probably followed everything you basically did. And did you like to hit extra as well? Like at night, I know when we played summer ball together, you hit every night. You didn't take a night off of hitting. We played a game, you're hitting. It's
that's just how I've always been, really. I mean, if I ever have a bad game, I go and hit more. It's just what I do. I don't know. It's just what helps me. I mean, it's definitely not for everyone. I mean, you need to take care of your body for sure. Especially it's something I'm having to realize now playing 160 games. I mean, you can't go destroy your body like that.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you take care of it. So that's a big change for me. Just not taking the sheer amount of reps.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the things I enjoyed most. Really, was being able to be that example for the younger guys.
Yeah. I mean, you had another. I mean, there was a good. I think that last year was awesome for you because not only just like the way you played, but you also had another guy on your team that had brought a lot of attention and honestly kind of diverted, kind of like that main focus off you a little bit. I would say was Caglione.
Yeah.
I'm sure that helped you a lot with like having protection as well.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely helped. I mean, yeah, it helped a lot. The baseball aspect of it. I mean, when having me hitting in front of Jack, it was like, okay, we gotta pick who we want to pitch to. It's like you gotta pitch here, and then if you walk me, Jack's probably gonna hit a home run. This can be worth two runs versus one if he's just hitting. So yeah, it was really nice.
I bet. I mean, I remember looking there guys in the locker room like this guy's got 15 pumps, and I was just like, what's the 15 pumps? We're in a month into the season.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? He's got 15 pumps. I mean, what was it like just like playing with someone having that type of a season? I mean, like we're talking like 2-3 home runs every game, like almost.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was unreal. Especially like I said, being on base for a lot of them was just crazy. I mean, the amount of home runs that went over my head when I was on first base was unreal.
I mean, and they weren't just like normal bombs. Like these things were just pissed on.
No, he's not a normal guy.
He's your Sunday starter too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yep. He's a different beast.
Connie action.
Yeah. No, he's a stud.
Man,
speaking of home runs, Chris had me send me a video of one of your home runs in the World Series, and we coded it onto the website, and it is the craziest thing, college home run I think I've seen.
It was so good. It's like one of our covers of like for our website. We had to put it on because of how it was sick. I was like, I was watching it live, like my uncle.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, like I know that guy. He's like, no, you don't. I'm like, I'm gonna text him after the game and I'm gonna show you I do. And I faced the guy you hit the home run off of.
Yeah.
I played against him when we played UVA. And it's funny because I hit against him. I hit a ball like 450 feet foul. Right? Like absolutely hardest ball I've ever hit. Foul. And I'm like, okay, well, it was a changeup up and in. And I'm like, if this guy throws Wyatt that same pitch, he's losing this ball. He's losing it. I see him rear back, he throws it. I'm like, he didn't hit a foul. He didn't hit a foul, but you hit the furthest ball in College World Series history.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it was awesome.
How was that? Like, I mean, obviously it was a change up. I know it was.
It was.
And a huge spot too. What was it, 5-4?
Yeah, 5-4. Tied the game.
5-4.
Bottom of the ninth.
That's ninth, and
can't ask for anything better than that.
Yeah, no, it was an unreal moment for me. I mean, like I said earlier, just growing up a Florida fan and being able to have a moment like that, like under my belt, like for my college career, it meant a lot to me.
That's awesome.
I think that how many followers did you get on Instagram after that home run? I think
I have like 20 something thousand now. I think before the World Series, I want to say I had less than 10,000, like 6,000 or 7,000, and then between the World Series and the draft, I've gained almost 20,000 followers.
That's nuts.
I mean, you hit that ball, man. I was like, wow. Okay. I mean, you hit 2 that in the World Series, right?
2 home runs?
Yeah.
I hit 2 or 3.
You might have
I
been
think
3.
3, yeah.
It might have been 3.
Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah, you were.
I hit 2 against LSU.
That's right. That's right. I mean, you were probably feeling pretty good in the box, I would say, in the
Yeah,
World
no,
Series.
I felt really good. I kind of struggled. I struggled a little bit in regionals, and then not that much, and then super regional. I had a bad super regional, so it felt good to perform at that level.
Yeah, I mean, you missed a good amount of time the last year too, right?
I missed 7 or 8 games, I think.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad. I think it was like two weekends.
Yeah, that was wild, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Bro. Jack told me, he was just like, "Yo, Wyatt just like he just broke his nuts," and I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" What? Like, and then he showed me the video. I was just like, "Oh,
yeah, it's a terrible video."
a terrible video." I was like, "Oh my god."
You get hit by a
How does
pitch
that
or
even
something?
happen?
So I fouled a ball off.
Oh man!
Ruptured my testicle.
Oh, holy shit!
Yeah, it was bad.
You would think you do that catching, not hitting.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
man! But you
Crazy
stayed
how
in the
things
game.
happen.
Yeah, I did stay in the game. I finished that at bat, and then I had another at bat.
So when it first happened, we were like, just like another nut tap. Like you're like, all right, you know what? Like just breathe through it. Breathe
Yeah. I
through
mean,
it.
it hurt, but like that's exactly what I thought. Like I thought it was just, I just got hit. I'll be fine in a little bit. But
Yeah.
then it just got worse and worse and worse.
And you're
And it
like,
got to
Holy
the point
shit!
man.
where I was basically like walking out to left field.
What would your coach say? It was like, yo, like
It got to the it was so we had a doctor there, and he was checking me out like between every inning, and then it got to the point where Sully came up to me and said, "Hey, we're gonna take you out, go to the hospital."
yeah, probably a smart move.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. So I went straight to the hospital like during the game.
Was
And
it
watched
was it awkward when you're in the hospital and you're just like, well, I guess you got to check it out, man.
it wasn't that awkward. I mean, I was in so much pain. I just
Yeah,
wanted him to fix it.
yeah. So what they have to do for it? Like, what do you do for a ruptured
They
testicle?
just repaired it, I guess. I mean, they were
Yeah.
able to save my nut, but
Jesus.
You would have been Lance Armstrong.
yeah. So they just repaired it, I guess.
That's
But it
funny.
was rough. I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't have surgery until 6 a.m. that morning.
yeah. Wow. So you're probably just
Still
feeling
in
it, or
pain.
unless they probably put you on some.
Yeah, we were just sitting there in the hospital, just waiting.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow. So anyway, back to the College World Series. Let's get off this topic. So you hit that home run, and then you win that game. Massive win. I mean, you lose the first game in the World Series, it's tough to win. It
Yeah,
really
very,
is.
very.
Like if you lost that game, it's really tough to move on, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you have to beat them twice. And you win that game, now you're feeling like, wow, like we have a shot at doing this.
Yep.
Who was your next opponent after that?
I think it was Oral Roberts. I want to say, yeah, it was Oral Roberts.
Yeah.
Game 2.
I mean, they were hot when they were getting in
Yeah,
there.
no, that was. I mean, it was a tight game. That was another good game.
Yeah.
All three of our games leading up to the championship were all, I think, 1 run.
Yeah.
1 games.
I mean, that's one thing you could say about the College World Series is you're gonna have like your top teams, and then you'll have some random team that's just steaming.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah, they were good.
guarantees.
They could. No,
No
they threw
guarantees.
a couple really good pitchers. I mean, it was no joke for sure.
But then you win that game, and then LSU was playing Wake Forest. I'm sure you went to watch that game, right? Because that was the big game.
Yeah, we
It
had an
was
off day.
Skeens and Louder.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, you can't get a better pitching matchup in the College World Series. Like if you
Nah.
tried, I mean,
No.
2 first rounders going at it,
Yeah.
and man, it was as advertised
Yeah.
because that was probably one of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think those are the top 2 college pitchers taken, right-handed pitchers.
And
I
they're
don't know if
neck and
Dolander
neck.
was taken before Louder, but
I'm not sure.
it was close.
It was definitely close. But I mean, they were going back and forth. I mean, we faced Louder. We never faced Skeens, thankfully, but we faced Louder, and he was just nasty, man. He
Yeah,
had
he's
such a good pace.
Yeah.
Into, like the way he throws is just like get the ball back on the mound, throw another pitch.
Yep.
And I don't know about you. I don't know if you faced both of them in your career, but the thing with Louder is our scouting report was like, we got to guess because everything comes in this way, and then it's just either this, that, or it's rising up, and because that's what makes him so effective. Because there's plenty of guys in the country that throw 95.
Yeah.
But the difference with him is, as you probably know, is he tunnels everything so good. Like everything looks the same. So
yeah, no, he's definitely the best pitcher.
Yeah,
as far as like pitchability.
Yeah, and then obviously Skeens is a freak.
Yeah.
Right. You guys didn't face Skeens, did you?
We did not. No, I faced him in the summer for the USA thing, but he was it's crazy because he was throwing like 92, 94, I think, at that time. And then he goes to LSU and he just starts throwing 102.
That's nuts.
I mean, he throws like 102 throughout the whole game too. It's like unbelievable. Like because he is another guy. Like you're a guy who just popped up out of nowhere because obviously Dylan Cruz has always been like the guy, right? Everyone knew Dylan Cruz. Guy's a stud. You popped up out of nowhere, and then obviously Paul Skeens popped up out of literally Air Force. Guy comes from Air Force as a catcher, two-way guy.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. And then goes to Team USA, goes to LSU, and starts pumping 102.
That's absurd.
Listeners out there, man, it just doesn't happen. I'm sorry. That just doesn't happen. All right? Like, I would love to get him on here and ask him, like, hey, man, like, what did you eat every day? Like,
what did the Air Force feed you? Jeez.
I mean, I don't even know how it even happens. Like, it's crazy. But obviously, you played against LSU in the final. You had 2 home runs. I mean, you must have been fired up about those 2 bombs.
Oh yeah,
I mean, those 2 bombs are big ones. I think one was what, like 113, something like that.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I think you have the 2 furthest home runs, right, in College World Series history, or
I think so. Yeah.
Take it to it. Hey, someone's got to beat one of those. It's gonna be tough. But do you think it was because that's not a tough or an easy park to hit a homer at, right? Like notoriously, people said like it's in Colorado, but it's hard to really pump balls out of there. Obviously, you had no problem doing it, but like, did you feel any difference in there, or how was your BP rounds like?
No, I mean the thing is the wind was blowing in for the most part. I think there was one day when we played LSU. I think it was game 2. The wind was blowing out, and everyone was hitting homers in BP. But besides that, it was definitely a pretty big, and the dimensions are pretty big on that park as well.
So you're telling me when you played UVA, the wind was blowing in?
I don't know. I think it died down a little bit at night, but I couldn't tell you. I have no
idea. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many did Caglione. I don't know if Caglione went deep. In the series,
I think he did against LSU game 2.
Okay.
I think
because
that was a crazy game. I mean,
yeah.
everyone hit a home run. I think.
Well, I remember watching game one, and you guys you were up, and you hit an absolute
Yeah.
missile, like literally a missile, and you would have. I mean, I think that would have tied the game.
No, it would have won. It was
Would have
bottom of
won the game.
yeah.
Bottom of the ninth, hits an absolute missile, and the guy made a great play on it.
Yep, I know.
There's a video of you going back to the dugout and just
Brett Gardner.
Brett Gardner. It's just.
I mean, I dreamed about that for the next 3 months.
I mean,
how can you not?
Yeah, it was tough.
I don't want to be the guy to say it, but that might have been the one that won you the College World Series right there.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I hit it. I think it was like 114.
Yeah. Oh,
I just
it was
top
cool,
spun
yeah.
it to left field. And Pearson, I think, was playing out there. He made a good play on it.
Yeah.
We had a guy on second.
Yep. And he made a great play, and they were going crazy, and I was like, So game two, I mean, that was a really, really good game. I know that your catcher hit a massive home run. I remember him just coming around the bases like fired up.
Rivera,
no, that was
game one.
Game one? That was game one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, game two is when we scored 26 runs, I think. It was like 26-2.
That's gotta be like a record.
Yeah, I think it was.
It's gotta be like a College World Series record. Holy.
Yeah, it was.
I don't even remember that game. You scored 26 runs against LSU in game two.
It was insane. That was the day the wind was blown out.
Were you like, all right, maybe let's save some for game three here? But
it was. I'm telling you, it was so weird. It was so weird. It didn't even feel like we were playing. It felt like we were playing Little League.
You guys just 26 runs against the best team in the country.
Everything was falling. It was just It was weird.
So game three, obviously now it's like the biggest game of your life.
Yep.
Right. I mean, everyone's going in there, and it's like, here we go. And it was like, okay, well, we better win. We better take the lead before the seventh, because you got the big guy warming up in the pen. He's coming in relief.
Yeah.
Right. Like, because Skeens was going to pitch in relief that day.
Yeah.
which,
you know, obviously, where you guys kind of have like a pressure like in your mind, like, all right, we got to score fast? Not
really. I mean, we were just playing normal, really. I mean, our offense is really good, so that's kind of how we played all year.
Yeah, I mean, after putting up 26 runs, you're like, all right, well.
Yeah, it was weird. That was crazy.
I don't care if they bring Randy Johnson in his prime out here. You know, but obviously, you know, the game didn't go your way or whatever. But you know, after the season, I mean, I'm sure you guys were really upset after that game, but I'm sure there was kind of like a sign of relief for you too. It was just like, all right, like I did what I needed to do, type of thing, like for moving on, or
kind of, yeah. I mean, there was still so much to happen. Like, I mean, there's no certainty at all, no matter what you do, really. So it's kind of just. I mean, I was more so just bummed. I mean, because I knew that I wasn't going back another year. That possibility was very, very slim. So it's more so just reflecting on my career and stuff like that, and then looking forward to what was going to happen in the draft. But yeah, I mean, I was proud of what I accomplished throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean, did you give a little farewell speech, or?
No, I did not. I don't think I did.
No, you're just like, all right, I'm out of here. See ya.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back to your whole college career. You go into freshman year, you don't even know what's going on, right?
Yep.
You don't talk to anybody. You're sitting in a corner, and you go from that to having one of the greatest careers in Florida Gators history, I would say. You know, I mean, those 2 years combined, you only play 2 full years, and they're got to be one of the best 2 years someone could have. like you said, you reflected back to your college career, and what was it like for you to know that, wow, like look at the journey I had to where I'm at now? Like, how'd that feel for you?
It was amazing. I mean, to have gone through that and like just the drastic change of not only like my own mind, but like everyone else as well. Like no one, even myself, expected me to be like the player that I ended up being. I mean, it's hard to imagine that for anyone.
So what would you say your key to success was throughout college? If you were to say there was one thing, there's probably not one thing, but like if you were to say your key to success throughout college, what was it?
I would say confidence, like confidence in myself. That was kind of the biggest thing. Like freshman year, like not talking, not building those relationships, and then I mean, I had confidence within myself, but I didn't really I didn't do a good job of like displaying it,
Mm-hmm.
and then sophomore year started, and a little bit of momentum, and that momentum led to me having more confidence, and then it just they continued to build on each other.
Well, yeah, momentum is one word. Skyrocket, I could say another word. That it was kind of more. The momentum. You got that little bit of more momentum, and you didn't look back one bit. I
Yep.
mean, not one bit. So after the season ends, I'm sure you went. I don't even know if you went back home, but did you go back home for a little bit?
I did, yeah, because I'm from there, so it's like
Yeah, I mean 45
not really,
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah. And did you kind of just like relax a little bit, or did you know I got a month until the draft? Did you do anything in between that, or did you take a break?
No, it was like I think it was really only 2 weeks. Like it was like 2 weeks, but I might have hit one time. I didn't do any baseball activity.
Yeah.
I just hung out and enjoyed my time at home.
I mean, were you talking to a lot of, teams at that point, or were like that kind of stuff already done?
I mean,
Uh,
the majority of it had already been done, but then there's kind of like some final meetings that were being done and stuff like that, but it wasn't too crazy.
I got you. So I'm sure you talked to the Rangers before the draft.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yep,
yeah.
multiple
So
times.
they probably Zoom calls and everything like that. Um,
Yep.
what do they like ask you on those Zoom calls? Like, I'm curious. Like, do they just call you and just ask you basic questions, or?
Um, at that point, it was really more about they weren't really asking me questions as much as they were kind of telling me about their organization.
Yeah.
So like I got on a Zoom call with the general manager, Chris Young, and he
Mm-hmm.
just he did a really good job like just laying out kind of what their like kind of core principles are and the stuff they look for in players and
Yeah.
how they kind of run things. And I was like, man, it sounds like something like I believe in and like I'd really like to be a part of. Like it was almost like I was getting sold to like commit for college. It was
Yeah.
weird.
I mean, but were you just kind of like, hey, like, um, I guess it's not my decision. Like, you're picking me. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, of course I would play for you. Like, it's your decision, right? Like, why are you telling me? I don't know how that even works, especially
yeah.
that high up in the draft. It's like,
That's the thing. It's like I mean, there's there's obviously so much that goes into it. I mean, I didn't even have that much to do with it. But it was like I think they had an idea that like there's a chance that I could go before that pick. So it's kind of them trying to just um,
yeah,
like give me reassurance that hey, if you get down to us, you're going to be a Texas Ranger. It's kind of more so
yeah.
how.
Did you
Cool.
talk to any teams like that were like 1, 2, and 3? Like, did you talk to Detroit? Did you talk to the Pirates?
I talked to the Pirates and Detroit, but I don't think I had any meetings with Washington.
Okay. And so obviously leading up to the draft, you're like, all right, well, you have a pretty idea of like you're going to be top 5, right? Like you probably knew.
Yeah.
And at that point, what were you just kind of relieved, like, or were you a little like, oh well, I would like to play in Texas?
Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean that was kind of the whole plan was to go really either number 1 or number 4. That was kind of the hope, like if I get to go number 1 overall, I mean that's amazing, obviously.
Yeah.
But if I don't, then it's okay. I mean, I'll go. I'd really love to play in Texas. I mean, that would be the place that I would want to play the most.
Yeah.
Obviously, and then I mean, you guys saw how their season ended too. To be able to joining a team like that at this time, I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
I mean, knowing who you are and where you're from, let's list off the places you would have lived in. You were talking about Pittsburgh. I don't know if they're doing a lot of duck hunting. Washington, don't think that's a whole lot of you there.
That's cool.
And then we got
Texas
Detroit
Rangers
once again. And then now it's like, all right, how about Texas? And I was just like, it's got to be Texas. Like this guy is Texas, you know. But walk us through, because I was nervous. Look, I was nervous on your draft day, man, because I was at Jack's draft party.
Yeah, cool.
And I went there, and I was late. Not surprised. And I had the draft on my phone. And I missed a turn about 4 times because I didn't know if you were going 1 or 4. You know, I didn't know where you're going. And I had my parents. I was like, put it on now. They FaceTime me. And they're like, and I was just like, did he go? And they're like, no, it was Skeens. And I was like, oh, okay, he's got to go. He's got to go to either Detroit or Texas. I think I texted you. I texted you a Detroit Tiger GIF or something.
I have no idea. I got so many messages.
Yeah, and it took me about 30 minutes to realize you got picked by the Rangers instead of the Tigers. And I was like, oh, God, that's awkward. Joe, it's saying you got to refresh your page. Yeah. So walk me through like the draft day. You get there, you're at home, right? I mean, I'm sure MLB Network is calling you up. It's like, hey, Wyatt, like set up your camera and stuff. Like, did you do all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I had to do all that, but if we just had our internet there is horrible. So the stream was just terrible. I mean, no one could see what was happening. And then I did an interview with MLB directly after the draft. Like I went back into a different bedroom and did it, and I mean they couldn't even understand me, but I really could care less. I was just so happy, and I wanted to be spending that time with my family. I didn't want to be kind of answering questions and all of that. I wanted to just enjoy that moment with my friends and family.
Yeah,
there's time for questions later.
Definitely. Big difference from when Jackson Holiday got picked. He had the 4K cameras in there. You were seeing everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw the fruit in his kitchen. That's how good the cameras are. But yeah, I mean, pretty low key. You know, obviously, you stayed home and just enjoying the time with your family. I mean, after that, you get picked. Your phone's probably just like blowing up. Did you just put it down?
It was on silent.
You put it on silent, put it away, and you're just having a good time with your family and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it was a very long day.
I bet. You probably didn't even sleep, huh?
I don't think I had trouble. I don't think I had too much trouble sleeping, but I was having to occupy myself throughout the day, though.
Yeah. What'd you do leading up to it?
Well, we all we had the party thing pretty early, so we ate way before the draft, and we were just hanging out at the house. I was swimming in the pool and all that stuff.
Yeah. Were you nervous at all?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, but not like a unsure, nervous, more of just like anxious.
Yeah, just like an anxious
To
feeling,
find
like
out, yeah.
to find out, like, wow, this is happening.
Yeah.
So now that you got drafted and stuff like that, I'm sure the Rangers had something set up. I mean, we saw you obviously go over there, but I want you to explain how it was when when they first flew you out to Texas.
Yeah, it was unreal. I mean, they gave me a whole tour of the stadium and all of that. I mean, it's a brand new stadium. The
Yeah,
facilities are unbelievable. I mean, they have every single thing you could ever think of, like for
yeah.
recovery or hitting or nutrition, food, kitchen, just everything. I mean, so it was definitely like eye opening. Like, I mean, at Florida, I was like, man, with these facilities are state of the art. Like, it's
Yeah.
unreal. And then you get there and you're like, wow, it's way better.
It's
It
honestly,
was really cool.
it's probably undescribable because like I'm thinking about the Gators facilities. Like they're probably just like you can't ask for more,
No,
right?
exactly.
And then you see the Rangers, and you probably can't even explain like
Yeah,
what it is. Like
yeah, yeah.
you
I
got
mean,
BP tunnels and
they took us in. I mean, we went in so many different recovery rooms. It was unreal. They had all types of rehab stuff, therapy, nap rooms, all that, and everything. It was really cool.
how's the locker room?
It's really nice. I mean, it's a pretty traditional locker room. I mean, it's a big
Yeah,
circle. It's a big
yeah,
circle. It's very open.
man. I mean, it, and then I saw you were able you had BP on the field, right?
I did, yeah. I got to hit BP on the field. That was super cool.
I'll tell you one thing, you're looking like 240, 8% body fat in that video.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Well, they hooked me up with a pretty small shirt, so I didn't have.
yeah, I mean, it looks like you were just dropping tanks too.
Yeah, no, I did all right. It was the first time I had hit in 3 weeks. So,
Yeah. Were were you nervous then or no?
a little bit. I mean, I figured I was just gonna hit. Like, they told me I was gonna hit BP, so I figured I was gonna hit like BP with the
Yeah.
team or. But then I walk out there to go hit BP, and it's just me, the hitting coach, and then about 30 cameras. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, like, all right. Well, I hope this is not the scene of Trouble with the Curve, and they're gonna bring out some Dominican throwing deuces.
Yeah, and they're just like,
Uh,
they just told me to hit as many as you can, or as many as you want, pretty much. Just
really? Were you just
they,
like,
they said to
sure?
try and hit bombs. Yeah,
Oh
That's
my
so I
cool.
god!
was
I
just
mean, it's
yeah.
awesome. I
It
mean,
was a
that's
little weird.
awesome.
It was a little weird, but it was super cool, and just the fact that stadium is the actual stadium itself is just so nice. I mean, it's unbelievable, and then the fact that it's just 72 degrees in there, it was 110 outside, and it's just a cool 72 inside where we play.
How good of an echo was it when you hit it? We're like,
It's
that's
awesome.
nice.
It's very nice.
So then I saw you also threw out the first pitch.
I did, yeah, one of the games.
I got to ask again. Were you nervous
No
throwing
way.
that ball?
Oh, I was way more nervous doing that. I mean, that was the first time I've been on a pitcher's mound, and I don't know how long.
I mean, you're probably thinking, did you warm up? I mean, I'm sure you warmed up. Like,
No,
no, because I
no,
would have been thinking, man, I'm the first pick in the draft here for the Rangers, packed stadium. If I spike this thing, they're
yeah,
gonna hate. They're gonna
I know.
hate me if I spike it at Corey Seager or whoever caught it.
Yeah,
Um,
everyone told me just make sure you don't bounce it.
it's just like,
You can throw it high, just don't bounce it.
oh god. I mean, that would have been all over everything if you just whiffed it at it. If you just launched that thing, they'd have been like, first pick.
Yeah,
Guy throws this thing into the stands. Oh no, that's awesome though. Okay, so after that, now you're a little settled in. Obviously, you signed the contract. That must have been pretty nice.
it's very.
Yeah, he must have been like, okay, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Take it.
And then, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. It's nice. And then after that, they're probably like, okay, well, that's cool and all. Let's get serious. You're playing. Let's go. Like, were they like, all right, we're sending you to rookie camp, or how'd that go?
Yeah, so we all went out to Arizona to the spring training facility, and we did like a whole draft camp kind of thing. They just wanted to make sure we were ready to go out and play, and they kind of got a bunch of baseline metrics and stuff like that just to make sure if we were to ever get hurt or anything like that, they have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
And then that was about a week or so, and then I played 2 games in the rookie league, and then they sent me out to high A.
So yeah, I mean, I remember texting you. I was just like, so how's the difference between high A and the SEC? What would you say the difference is, if there is any?
So I said that high A was pretty similar.
Yeah.
To SEC, I think. The SEC might be like a tad better, but
Yeah.
I'd say it was pretty similar.
So you did pretty good in high A. I mean, they moved you up to double A, pretty quick, right?
Yeah, so I think I played, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks in high A, and then they sent me up to double A.
So what's the process of getting called up? Like, is it actually a phone call?
No, so it's usually like after every game you have your post game meeting like with the manager.
Oh,
Like
really?
not player, like the team.
Oh, the team.
Yeah, like you're sitting in the locker, like you
Yeah.
after the game you go back to the locker room and you sit there and wait until the coach comes and talks to you about the game.
Yeah.
And then after he's done talking, you go shower and everything. So usually they'll say whatever they have to say, and then at the end they'll announce it in front of everyone.
Is it like embarrassing, or are you just cool. Like,
no,
it's pretty cool?
It's cool. No, it's cool.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
everyone's
probably fired up. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone goes crazy. I mean, like they do it for everyone. So it's like every time someone gets caught up, they do it in front of everyone. So everyone's able to go over there and like congratulate everyone and stuff like that. So it's cool.
So they're like, Langford, you're going up.
Yeah, he's like, I can't remember what he said. He said something like about heading back home to play next week or something. And he's like, except for Langford, you're going up to double A.
You're probably like, okay.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. It was very unexpected.
Yeah.
I just kind of, because the high A team they were going to play in the playoffs. So and there was only 2 weeks left in their season. So I was like, all right, well, I'll probably just finish out the year here. I mean, I'm doing pretty good, but I'm sure I'll just finish out the year here and play, and they'll want me to play in the playoffs and then just call it a year.
Yeah. I'm a little tired of him playing forever, but, and then they called you up to double A. What was the difference between double A and high A?
I'd say just the consistency, like of the pitching.
Yeah.
Like every single guy was, like every single starter was really good versus like just like a really good one every now and then.
Yeah. But I think you did better in double A. Hey, if I'm not mistaken, you might have been.
I was only there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the first week was just okay. I did pretty good, and then the second week I did extremely good.
Yeah.
It was just one of those hot streaks.
One of those weeks, right?
Yeah. And then that was the last week of their season too. Was the last week I was there.
And you're probably thinking, all right, well, I'm going home now, right?
Yeah. So I had actually, they had already sent me my flight home, like back to Gainesville.
Yeah.
I was like, sweet, I'm finally going. And then, but I'd also just heard that I could be going to AAA, but I was like, well, they already sent me my flight. So it was just very back and forth. And then the last day, I mean, I think I struck out twice. I did terrible that day. I was just so domed up about what was going to happen after the game.
Yeah.
Then he called me in the office and told me I was going to AAA.
I mean, at that point, you're probably like, what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
Like how am I? Like I was just playing college baseball, and I'm a step away from the big leagues.
Yep.
Was there a big jump between Double A or Triple A to Triple A?
I wouldn't say it was crazy.
Yeah.
I'd say more. It's just hard because I had such a small sample size in both, so it's hard for me to even really say. But like the AAA guys I did face, I mean, just a lot of those guys have like big league time, so
Yeah.
it's like they just have that experience, kind of like they all know what they're doing. They all have a plan, like of how to attack each hitter and stuff like that.
So, what would you say? Would you say like the difference between the SEC is to AAA? I'm sure the AAA is better.
Oh yeah. The SEC is like I said, like high A.
Yeah.
It's pretty similar to the Double A, and then especially Triple A are way above that.
So I mean, I assume actually, I heard a story about you in Pro Bowl.
Oh gosh.
Do you know Andres Antonelli?
I don't.
Well, he's telling me that he was sitting next to you on a bus one day, so hopefully he doesn't watch this. And he's like a player development guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I thought you were talking about player. No, I know.
Oh, no. Yeah, player development guy. And he was telling me that you're on the bus learning Spanish.
Duolingo, yeah.
Duolingo to communicate with the outfielders better.
Yeah.
And he was just like, what?
Yeah, I think he sent me a whatchamacallit, like a Quizlet thing of Spanish words to learn.
Yeah, I met him last night actually.
Oh, really?
And yeah, because he went to Rollins. He was at Rollins last year.
Oh,
and he was telling me, like, he's like, yeah, I work for the Rangers and stuff like that. I was like, well, I know a guy. You might know him. He's like, oh, yeah, who, man? I told him, he's like, no, get out of here.
Yeah.
And then he told me that story, which I think is pretty funny. But anyway, you're in AAA. You're doing well in AAA. The major league team is doing really good. They call up Carter, right?
Yep.
And was there like did you hear any conversations of you possibly having a shot of going up in the bigs?
Well, so I did like the whole taxi squad thing, like during the playoffs. So
like the stay ready camp.
What's that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, I mean, there's probably 15 of us or so. Like we were just practicing just in case, pretty much, if something crazy were to happen.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was cool. And then, but I mean, not really. I mean, I knew the odds of me doing that. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably like, man, I gotta go home.
It was a rough camp. The whole stay ready.
Where
camp.
was it?
We were in Dallas. We were at Frisco, the Double A stadium. So it's only about 45 minutes from the big league stadium.
So what is that camp like? Like, is it just like?
It's rough, but I mean, it wasn't bad. We'd literally just usually hit BP on the field and then work out. That was really the extent
every
of
day.
it. So
Every day.
It was a grind.
I mean, but like, you're probably thinking, you probably go to sleep at night thinking, well, if this happens, I'll be playing in the big leagues, like in the playoffs, like, because like they were obviously, you guys won the World Series, which is wild, and that's crazy. Like you're probably really close to playing in a college World Series and an actual World Series in the same year.
Yeah,
like, that's a wild thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's just a crazy year. Like, did you ever expect from the beginning of your junior year to be in AAA by the end of it?
No, I mean I wasn't even looking at that. Like I had no idea to expect going to Pro Bowl.
I mean, how do you even think about that? Like, if
Yeah,
you're playing
exactly.
college, like,
You
how do you even think
don't-
about that even happening?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, no, I mean, that's just awesome to hear. Um, so you were now. Do you know where you're starting off this year?
I do not. No, I'm
But
I'm going to big league camp for spring training, and
yeah,
then we'll see what happens from there.
yeah. How's the off season been going though? I mean, obviously, congratulations, recently married.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
But other than that, how's the off season been going? Kind of similar, standard.
It's been great, and I mean, no, it's super different from
Yeah,
college. I mean, it's so much. I mean, it's like 3 times as long as the college off season. So
yeah,
that it took a little getting adjusted to. I mean, you have to give your body a break. Like
yeah,
going through that gauntlet of playing from whatever January to October is like, man, like you wanna get out there and hit and work out and all that stuff, but you have to give your body a break and make sure you have time to recover.
yeah. I mean, I believe it. That's a long year. That's a really long year. Full college season and a full pro season, basically. Um, and then, well, that's good. Now that you got used to what it was like, the grind and stuff like that, you probably have to learn how to pace yourself through the training and everything like that. I mean,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. The biggest thing was like just asking questions about, like to other guys that have been through it, kind of like when they started working out, when they started
yeah.
hitting, when they started throwing, that kind of stuff, just to get an idea of kind of like what you need to do.
So, yeah, I mean, now that you're getting into this next season and stuff like that, you're probably a little bit cleared up in the mind now. It's like now you just play baseball every day and get ready for the grind. Obviously, it's gonna be another long year, um, but you know that's it's really good. Do you still lift heavy weights?
I do, yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah,
I love to lift. So it's kind of my thing.
yeah. I mean, are the have the Rangers been like, hey, like maybe chill out on the bench press or
No, not the bench press. They don't like me back squatting or anything like that.
yeah, yeah. Man,
Or
that's
700-pound
that's cool.
deadlift.
They didn't say not to.
They're probably they honestly probably wouldn't be surprised if you're just deadlifting 700. But
Yeah, I don't know. I
anyway,
need to see if I got it in me still.
well, there's always this last question that we always ask our guests. It's if you were to talk to a younger kid that was in your position or in high school that wants to do the same thing that you did, what would be the biggest advice you could give them?
I would say since it was such a big like game changer and like difference maker for me was taking care of your body. Like
Mhm.
you can do like yeah, you need to work as hard as possible and like all that, but the biggest thing that helped me was when I really started to just take more time to understand like my body and what I needed to do to put myself in a position where I can like play every day, where I can be as strong as I can at the same time, and then also be like properly fueled to be able to compete.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
mean, like growing up when I was in high school, I had zero idea about any of that. I would eat McDonald's every day and stuff like that. I would eat McDonald's, work out every now and then I'd just go play, and it was fine. I mean, it's easy when you're in high school, you can do that, but then to take like that's just what took me to the next level, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that's a great piece of advice. Um, so I mean, Joe, you got any last questions?
No, I just appreciate you having you on and grateful to talk to you. Well, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you guys for having me on. It was good.
Yeah, yeah, Wyatt. Like I said, pumped that you came on. I'm sure that there's going to be you're going to help a lot of kids out here, with just like them hearing it. Because they honestly, kids, they don't understand how simple it possibly could be.
Yeah.
They think they need to have a miracle. And, that was a big reason. Obviously, I had you on because you're a stud, but another reason is because people don't understand how simple it was for you. And it wasn't really simple, but like how you kept your mind simple and like you stayed focused and you simplified it. It wasn't simple by any means, but
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, simplify.
But like you were able to not simplified, not like, hey, yeah, everyone could be a 4th overall pick. No, about like just consistently working out, working hard, and don't lose your mind with all the stuff. I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, we're happy you came on. Hopefully, you could send us some people to have on here as well.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
I'm sure you could get some guys on for us. But yeah, so
we're excited to watch it this season. We're gonna follow you.
Pumped to see you this season. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm excited to see what it holds.
Yep. All right. It was great talking to you, man.
Good.
I'll text you.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chris. See you.
So, just stay on for a second, Wyatt. Just let it upload.